We are here. We are here.
And we are once again starting. Um,
All over again. It's gonna be rough. Mm-mm. So rough.
but we're
But
gonna
we're
make it.
gonna make it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the one of the things that we want to talk about is our first of all,
What?
I am Sharon or Zare,
Mm-hmm.
and this is Craig or Imar, and we are taking the journey together. We act like we have not done this before,
No, we haven't.
and well, at least not today.
Exactly.
And so, and we're taking the journey together. And I want to start off while he's diddling
Diddle
around with the
around.
things that he has to do. Start off with our belief statement. The belief statement of taking the journey together is we are going to relate. It doesn't matter what your mother says, your father, your children, or even what Jesus says, we are going to relate. At taking the journey together, we believe in relating in a balanced manner. And balanced relationships are the ones that are entered into as friends 1st
Mm-hmm.
and lovers second, but has both aspects in each partner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So make sure you start off on the friendship.
On the good foot. Make sure you start off on the good foot.
Yes.
James Brown used to say that. Start out on the good foot.
And get
Remember
on
that?
the good foot.
Oh, get on the good foot. Yeah,
Yes, same
exactly.
Same thing.
Hey, talking about getting on a good foot, we are going to actually be involved with a great thing that's happening for the season. What is that, Sharon?
Martin Luther King holiday. His birthday is in about what 3 days, 4 days, and so we are looking at the relationship of couples that have to work together, couples that have the same vision, that look for or work towards the greater good, whatever capacity that is in.
Greater good, greater good. You know, I don't, for some reason, the speaker is not letting us hear ourselves over the speaker. I don't know exactly the reason why, but we're going to assume people out there listening can hear us because we can hear us in our studio. But anyway, moving right along, Martin Luther King's birthday. How many people think about on Martin Luther King's? This thing looks like it's crooked.
It is. I was going to tell you that.
God, I was looking at you and looked like I was out of the water. How's that?
Now it's way over the other way.
Well, it wants to. It told me yesterday. I'm tired of looking at her. I want to look at your beautiful self.
Well, and I
And
can't
I
explain.
and I said, "Oh,
but
KB,
it's your
how's
other work area.
how's that?
Yeah, that's,
Hold on, how's that?
that's good.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
better.
that's good.
Much better
Mm-hmm.
than it was before. I think it should. Hold on, you're gonna make me mess with it more.
Yeah. See how he gets stuck on these things. It's fine.
There you
Yeah.
go. Okay.
Yes.
Much better, much better. So anyway, we were talking about Martin Luther King birthday. How many on Martin Luther King birthday do people think about that he was married on his birthday, on his holiday day?
Yes.
How many do?
I don't think anybody thinks of that
Mm-mm.
because he was seen so much,
Mm-hmm.
either alone or in the multitude.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people that see those films and everything, she was walking right along beside him in a lot of those marches, but people connect her with the part of the crowd
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to this is his wife,
Mm-hmm.
his connection in life
Mm-hmm.
that is on this trail with him, taking this journey with him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so from that standpoint, it was not until much later when she started doing things to celebrate him, and keep his name and his memory and the things that, his mission alive. Did people start connecting the two of them together?
No, I think most of the time when they thought about Martin, they thought about Martin with himself. And,
Exactly.
And if there's his wife there, She was in a box someplace back in the house, had a ribbon over it, and will open the box when necessary, and she'd go ahead and eat and do lunch, breakfast, and make sure the kids were staying nice. That's and I'm
And that
being
was a part of
funny,
what she did.
but that's pretty much what people thought about it
Yeah.
when it came to Martin. We're not going to get into. I'm being anal. I know I can't help it. We're not going to get into the portion of I know when I say it, people are like, "Oh my God," gonna say, but I'm saying anyway. Other women thing. We're not even going to get into that particular portion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not on this. Is that good enough for you? That's not. I don't know why. It just gives me a hard time. There you go. Better. Butter. Better. What do you think? It should be a little bit more over.
I
Yeah,
think
it should be. That's about even.
it's good.
Hold on. Let me see. Where you at? Okay, that's close enough.
It's
You want to drink for that bread? Nah, so.
good. It's good.
So they don't show much of both of them. And so we get a lot of great leaders where we don't know anything about the image of relationship, especially in the black folk side. We really don't.
Malcolm
We know they're
X's
there.
wife, you
Same
knew
thing.
of her, but you didn't
Not
know
really know of her.
that you don't know what their relationship was. There was nothing ever viewed of their relationship on a wide scale.
And so you get those pictures that we just adore when you get a picture black and white or another picture that a photographer took when like Martin was sitting kneeling or sitting on a picnic blanket with the kids. His kids are showing him around there and his wife on the other side, and you look and go, oh,
There was a family.
he actually had a family, and he actually did picnics.
Yeah.
I saw another one where he was actually riding a bike.
Yes.
A bike with one of those like bread holders in the front. I think one of his child was riding behind basket. I'm like, okay, I guess he was human and a father at that. And we're not even talking about with Malcolm. We've seen a couple pictures with Malcolm, with his girls, and he had that very sincere smile on him, and his wife would be some place to the picture. But you didn't get to see that many kind of pictures, even of him. So many of them.
They were kept as icons.
Yes.
Individual icons.
Sadly, too.
Exactly. And there was no there was no real depth to anything outside of the public persona.
What do you mean by death? I mean, why do you put the word death in?
What I'm saying is because a family and the rest of your life lends depth to who you are.
I like that. On that note, we're going to bring up a picture of that image you didn't see all the time, and you don't really think of all the time when it comes to Martin Luther King's birthday. I know most of us don't, or Martin Luther King's Day anyway. Well, I got rid of us. I pushed the wrong button. Here it goes. Okay.
I guess you're human, right?
No. Here is a beautiful picture of that couple. And this picture is what they're using. Where, Sharon?
The King Center Foundation. This is the picture, the painting that is used to celebrate the holiday this year.
Yeah.
And the theme is it starts with me.
It starts with me. That's the theme. So when we're out today or tomorrow on the 50th on his birthday,
Monday,
or whenever the time that they share and celebrate his birthday, you need to try to remember the theme that they've come up for this year. So we could all be in sync. We could all be as one in thinking. And what a image they pick for It Starts With Me by showing them as a couple.
Yes.
Showing them as a couple. So we wanted to use that as an example today to honor his birthday, but at the same time to honor couples, as you see in this picture, in how taking the journey is all about trying to, and it's supposed to be about not just balance, not just finding friendship between one another, which is important, but at the end, it's something to what? Honor. Honor.
Yes.
Do we honor our relationships? Do we honor them? His theme is it starts with me. So we're talking about in a relationship. Yes, that us thing is there. Yes, that unity thing is there. I push it hard. I try to do things out there in the world that's like that. I tried to make sure I do that same thing, us thing in a relationship in a balanced way. But I think the challenge we have from the Kings is, are we really starting with ourself in our relationship and thinking about us as an us? I'll say it again. Are we really individually so thinking about us in a relationship? Are we thinking about the other one? Should be that way. And I'm just going to stay the way I've always been. So it becomes, I do my thing,
and you change.
You change, and that's how we're gonna get together. No, I see this. I'm gonna stop right there because usually I can roll a little bit further. It's not necessary. What do you think about that?
I think that is definitely the way a lot of relationships start out.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not the healthy, thriving relationships, though.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the relationships that are looking to, stick it out. But what ends up happening is somebody ends up capitulating. Somebody ends up going along just to get along.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a mutual thing. The one thing I like about this picture, the more I look at it, is they're not looking at one another, but they're looking further off, as though you get the feel that they're looking at something that they created together. And that's where their focus is.
Okay.
And that's what the important thing is. If you're in a situation where it's you change so that I can stay the same, but you change for me, you're not going to get that what is I'm trying to say, the look that they have, which is that satisfaction of joy and pride that you see in that picture as they look off at.
I'm still listening.
But
why would you not?
Because it's
in fact it's kind of interesting. When I look at that, there's no doubt about it. They have that kind of a gaze into the heaven, and some people say their gaze into heaven that was common to them is they're looking at heaven, God or Jesus, because that was their commonality in the church world, and so they're gazing, looking onto that. Why did you pick it as coming up with something else in your mind?
Because in my mind, I'm saying that it does not have to be that far off. It could be something that they created together. As a couple, you can create things in this earth, in this earthly moment, as opposed to looking in the long run, looking down the road someplace. You can have simple successes, and a simple success could be something as simple as watching a child graduate from college or something. And that's something that the two of you strived for together to make happen. And when that happens, there's this sense of pride, this sense of accomplishment, this sense of something you did together. Building a business together, things like that. Having a vision of how something needs to be and working on that. And when you finally see it comes to fruition, and you look at this, and well, at least when I do, I see the fact that they had so many things that they were doing on this earthly plane, that they can see successes in those things rather than having to look far to the heavens.
We have someone who's speaking this morning. Haven't heard from this young lady for a little while. We're glad to see her, and hopefully we'll get her back on the what again?
Taking the Journey.
She wants to come in and speak. She said, sure, let's go ahead and make that happen. So, young lady, while you're there giving us what you're concerned with, you saw what she has. We're going to invite her because she's our usual speaker. Haven't seen her for a while for this year. We'll let her speak for herself once she gets in, and she'll give us the reason why she hasn't been for a while from then. But that's a good question. She says, or they're in a now looking in the distance and envisioning themselves there.
Yes.
Wow. Miss Latita, you are coming in with some groove Groovalicious stuff again. Stop that. We don't need groovalicious stuff now. Not this year. No. We leave that heartfelt, religious look in the sky, wondering why it's happening because it didn't hit me in my eye. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, we got her in the background. We're going to bring her up. Shane, you want to introduce her? Let her do herself since it's been a while.
I want her to come out with her groovaliciousness
Mm-hmm.
and share with everyone who she is in only the way that she can. And we love having you back. We've been missing you.
Now, we're not going to get rid of Mrs. King and Mr. King, who are in the center of the screen, because this is really about a celebration of them. Their energy, using that theme, it starts with them. So we want to keep that right there. So our focus is still on that, and we don't stray too far. So I hope you don't mind.
Oh, no, definitely don't mind. King and queen, respectively, to the king and queen. So, Sister Latita, glad to be back on the show, even for a moment. It's wonderful.
All right.
Yes.
Go ahead, Sharon.
We will accept however many moments we can get with you.
Now,
Likewise.
now, I told Sharon you wasn't feeling too well the last couple of times that we missed you, and that health was being nice to you.
Yes, that is a very, very real thing. Wait, is there any backlash? Am I the only one getting backlash?
What do you mean backlash?
I hear myself. I'm trying to see. Was that?
Oh, yeah, you're up loud, and I don't even have the slightest idea why. Where you're up loud. Hold on for a second, because we can't actually hear ourselves. Hold on. See, I didn't want to do that.
No.
I didn't want to do this. So how do I stop this crazy thing? Okay, remove it. There we go. And then I can go back and get it in it. Now, Sharon, you go ahead and talk.
Oh, yes. We're not hearing any reverberation or anything like that, but
She won't be as loud.
it may be, he may be fixing it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not as loud, but I can't necessarily hear us. I don't know what is going on. So.
Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we can hear
fine.
you.
Okay, awesomeness. Because there was that watery reverb. I was like, okay, bloop, bloop, bloop. I guess I'll be in the water.
Yeah. Well, okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. I don't know why we're not hearing ourselves off of that, but we can hear her.
But the
So
good
it's good
thing
enough.
is we know that everybody else
Yes.
can hear us because she could hear us.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's a good thing. So you were confirmation that we are being heard, because that was one of our questions.
Yes. Definitely hear the both of you.
And if we're not being heard, then the world has to come to an end. No, I'm just joking. So I can say, how's that working?
It's
for
not
you?
ready for it to be without us. Yes.
So you've been hearing a little bit what we're talking about. Okay. So you bring in this esoteric code, just off the chain, out of this world statement that comes back. You're going to have to explain that, sister, because some of the brothers out there are saying, what? What is she talking about? We're just now believing Martin Luther King was married. One woman. Oh, excuse me, had a woman. I believe that like that. That's gotta, how that goes from that.
Right.
But you know what I'm talking about. As we said at the beginning, the images of our leaders in our communities, especially the ones we're talking about, that woman wasn't there. She wasn't visually even there. She was just someplace over the side.
As James Brown used to say, it's a man's world, but it's not.
Oh yeah,
girl.
Yeah.
Yes, but here it is. Did she have to be physically seen to be there? Because she was there. She was everywhere.
Yes, she was. Yeah.
She was everywhere. So her strength was so encompassing that you didn't physically need to see her there.
For some people, they did. I did. Most men are seeing creatures anyway, so we did. And let alone our next generation of young people, they need to see themselves, not just with themselves, but they also need to see themselves with another particular female. Hopefully, a female looks like them. That's very important. That image is very important. We live in an image time right now. In fact, we create those images in the first place. And if we get straight about it, we can change those images that are out there. Now, you know that.
No, yes, yes, yes. Imagery has been an issue for us for how many hundreds of years now?
Yeah.
in in a
Mhm.
literal sense, you're right. The imagery needs to be there. It should be there, and I understand why the family or some families gatekeep the pictures. I get it, but what
Mhm.
I would like to encourage is that you don't have to be famous to share a picture of you and you'll be thrown to
Ooh,
show the image.
hold on. Say it again. You don't have to show what?
You don't have to be famous to show a picture of you and you'll be thrown. The
Oh,
imagery,
I
yes.
thought I had to be fake. Hold on for a minute. Now you gonna make me take down my Tupac picture? Oh, excuse me. You gonna make me take down my Biggie Smalls? No, no, my day. You gonna make me take down my dogs around that pool table that was made of velvet. That when you turn off the light, you could see
It
it.
glowed.
No, no, sister, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. No, they were pimpalicious. They were pimpalicious. That's not happening. Shoot.
Well, well, I'm kind of glad that that's not happening. You know, that the whole idea of the pictures are not happening anymore.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
but I agree with that, and I like that the fact that it's important that we are in the pictures, but it's
Yeah.
more important or equally important
Equal.
that we are in the presence with that man, with that
Hmm.
as that unit.
It's called example.
Yeah.
We don't have that many examples out there. In young folks today, I know because I work with them. They not like old school. They're like, no, I ain't doing as you say. I'm doing what you didn't do.
Yeah. Well, and the sad thing is when it comes to Martin Luther King, it's
Mhm.
not enough that we sit here and we talk about the fact that um, we did not see or have that depiction of him and his wife as a unit together.
Mhm.
You know, during the marches, during the civil rights fight, and all of that.
Mhm.
The sad thing today is even with him as the icon that he is,
Mhm.
young people, because of what's going on with history, they're not sure what he did.
Oh, she's
That's
sincere.
very
She
true.
can say
That's
that.
very true.
She can say
They're
that.
You know,
they're erasing historical context, purposely so.
yeah,
Purposely so.
Oh my God.
and that's such a the only word that comes to my mind right now is shame that I can
Mhm.
use right now. But we have to continue to build him up, not only as an icon, but as a man who was with a woman who
Mhm.
had a family, who
Mhm.
did
Mhm.
the things that everybody else
Mhm.
does, but went above and
You
beyond.
made that sacrifice.
Exactly,
What's the difference
because it
between
started
a moment and
at
a
a
movement?
movement
Sacrifice.
sacrifice.
Yes,
Sacrifice.
Yeah, and
I
so
agree.
so we get the opportunity now to continue to build him up, but build him up as um, the man in the relationship.
I'll use the melt toast Christian term. Everybody ready?
We're ready.
He was a family man.
He was.
Yes.
Like the way she, like the way she.
No, but no, it's real. He. I mean, the thing is, he was he was a family man, and I want to point out
Oh shoot.
that there were a lot of black men that were family men. So if you're in a neighborhood, I didn't
Mhm.
say hood, I'm saying those that know their neighbor. If you're
That's
in a neighborhood and
Mhm.
you know of the men or young men that are doing their duty in
Mhm.
being that family man, he is
Mhm.
the icon of your neighborhood.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
also in many instances. He was the man in the neighborhood. He upheld not only his household, but the representation of what a man is like in other households that were lacking.
So before we continue on, um, um, Is this a family show? This is a family show.
This is
Okay,
a family
so I don't
show.
want to say what I was getting ready to say because it would have been nice. But before we continue on, just heaping everything on him, I'm just be nice like this. Look over at Miss Coretta Scott. She has her hand on his hand, and she's looking like what they would say those daunting women who say anything you want, honey, I'm gonna do. She kind of look like that too. That's what I'm from a man's point of view. That's what I'm saying. Does that mean anything? So y'all are in love. Y'all in love with Marty. You're in love with Marty. Martin Luther King. But y'all women think nothing about. Now you're jealous of Mrs. King. Is that what it is?
No, and see,
that ain't even right.
And see, that's the one thing. I think a lot of times men assume that women are jealous.
I didn't. No, I just asked a plain, simple question because you guys didn't say nothing about. And the picture ain't about just Martin this time. It's about both of them.
Because see,
and both of y'all ain't said nothing about her. It took a man to stand up for her now.
No, because see, I don't see her looking as anything you want because I don't see her.
What anything what I want? What the heck are you talking about?
Because you said she's looking at him.
I said some way. It wasn't no anything. It was a thing.
Well, it was more. Well, okay.
It wasn't what you wanted me to say, but it was a thing.
Okay, let me put it this way. I don't see her looking in a way of doting on him at that particular moment. Okay. I see them as looking at something together.
Well, I mean, my point was, I think I believe, and I'll stand up for you, Miss King, that we need to think about her.
I agree.
And what she had to deal with in life.
I definitely agree.
How she represented probably other women, and she probably had a cause that she stood up for. Mainly from what I heard, the Martin Luther King Center, that was her responsibility. By the way, Miss Latita, have you ever been there in Atlanta?
No, I have yet to go there. That is literally on a bucket list of mine to do.
We have been there
a couple of
times, especially we went there when we actually put together the first 2019 Martin Luther King and Parade event in Richmond Hill, Georgia, in 2019. And so one of the ways to get ourselves immersed into how to make this happen and believe our ancestors were moving us was actually go all the way to Atlanta, visit the center, and we made sure we went all the way to see who?
Bernice King.
Bernice King. And we got Sharon got some time to actually talk to her, and I took some pictures. It was a historical moment too when it happened.
It was.
And we told her, she told her what we were doing because we wanted to see if we could get her to come down and speak. Since this was a historical moment, plus at the same time in Richmond Hill, Georgia, some people have told us that was part of his stomping ground. Right up the street in Midway, he stayed in some kind of cottage place. I heard that he's actually his visit Richmond Hill. That's from Black folks' side, that is. Of course, he's been in Savannah. So this was kind of like his stomping ground from that end. So that was one of the reasons why we strongly wanted him to come.
Wanted her to come.
And I'm not even going to tell you the kind of call that we actually got that was connected to the King family, that was such moving to us on why we were successful to do that particular event. So I'm just saying the Coretta took over the center, made it into as beautiful as it is, and then her daughters who took over. And right now, running all over the internet, I'm taking that for y'all sisters too, by the way. So you say no man didn't, I'm doing it. So how's that? Now on the internet right now, they are actually showing that their granddaughter has a book she made.
Oh, she's amazing.
I meant to bring it down. I might after the break see if I can find it on the internet. And she's speaking and talking about something I don't remember. And they had that going all over the internet. What a good PR and marketing that they're doing out of that center to make sure the whole world still knows Martin Luther King. Because quite frankly, when we went up to visit, I mean, there were people from all over the world that actually came down to see that place and the legacy he left.
Yes, and you know, the conversation up to this point, I was by no means
well, I'm
with
done.
the intention
you can leave it alone now. You don't worry about
was by no means. I'm not even paying you attention.
Yeah, I know you ain't.
Anyway, to slight her, because to be honest with you, if you can't say that he would have been as successful had she not been
Mm-hmm.
as strong and supportive as she was.
Mm-hmm.
She had to be.
Well, I never said that.
No, I'm
It
saying that
wasn't.
we weren't slighting her.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Because
you are, you were. You go slide into the left side of there. I just said about
okay, so now we're gonna balance, and we'll slide right into the middle.
Okay.
Right, right. I'm with you all the way on that. See, she slid in the middle. She was. I'm in agreement. I don't think he would have been as successful without her in the background, because she not only was she the mother, his wife, lover, and about 30,000 other jobs. She
Mm-hmm.
was there listening to him go, "Oh, Coretta, this happened today."
Man,
You
she
right?
was
I know.
Do that again. You guys close. That was close. But this time said, I've been to the mountaintop. Like I said,
So
y'all
yeah, she's
y'all
the
got his voice
epitome.
down, but you ain't got her voice down. I bet you don't even have her voice down. You got his.
No, no, I do not. I do not. And I don't even have his voice down. I do not have his voice down. But but as holding them in reverence,
Mhm.
which is a beautiful thing. Again, reminding those that are listening in your neighborhood, we're holding up those that we know that are doing that are doing the unit, as you say. And remember, unit has you and I in the beginning, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
that are doing that unit, that are doing that togetherness, they are also the icons to be looked up to, whether they want that job or not. It's there.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. No, you used the word reverence. I just went real quickly to Google. Someone said before. Hey, don't say anything. We know about tickety talk. You're supposed to. Hey, come and think of us. Someone's supposed to be helping us out on TikTok.
Okay,
They've been asking
Yes, listen. When I tell you that when my teeth, my dentist literally said, "Oh, okay." No. Let me say this for the first time. For the first time in my life, I'm 54 years old. For the first time, I had a black dentist.
Wow.
Blew my mind.
Wow.
Seriously, I cried when he came in, and I said, "Who are you?" And he said, "Well, dear, I'm here to do the surgery." I said, "Wait, what?" And I started weeping on site.
Oh, wow.
And he said, "Why are you crying?" I said, "You are my first black dentist. I am 54 years old."
Mm.
And so to say that was just, again, that was a moment. And
Okay.
he did my teeth, and I had to have several procedures because initially, when I had the initial mouth surgery, they had to rectify with these other mouth procedures. And it was like every 2 weeks I was in a procedure.
Mm.
Yes. And this went on from November until January 2nd.
Wow.
Mm.
Yes. So when I say that I really couldn't speak like that, it was wild because I got my texting skills up though.
So that be
Texting skills are up. And I learned a lot more about the talkity tick. Really did. I learned a lot more about the talkity tick. But yeah, it was a very real thing. But yes, just to give a shout out, just say, hey, thank you. He was my first black dentist in 54 years, and he was as virile and
who is
he
he,
was
baby?
wonderful.
Do you think you mind you shouting him out here?
Yeah, he does mind. That's why I had to just say it like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because I literally said, "Hey, there is this beautiful show with a beautiful couple, and I think you would love it." I'm just like doing this. I said, "Could I just give you just small praise if I can just say your name or first name or last name?" He was like, "Young sister, I would want you to, but alas," I hadn't heard the word alas in a minute. He said, "But alas, unfortunately, I cannot." I was like, "Oh, wow, but okay, I'm just going to say black dentist, yay."
Well, we might have been able to send him some clients.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Right. But, he's 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 at a particular age, getting close to retirement and different things like that. But he did my last two mouth procedures. So, kudos to him because he
Mhm.
did a great job. He did not miss a beat.
Wow. Well,
That
you are talking as if you got brand new choppers.
Yeah. Hey, no, I don't have brand new choppers. Actually, I'm missing like all jaw teeth, but
Well, we
but
can never,
hey,
we
the
can never
front teeth are
know.
still there. Smile, smile.
There you go. I'm gonna say nobody could tell. No one can tell. Not at all. I mean, you remember the last time I talked to you? Shoot, I could barely even hear you.
Yeah, I mean, very real. It was, hey, very, very real. But you know what? What I want to let the people know that
Mhm.
you, her, I say you, her, and
Mhm.
in the utmost respect, King, Queen, in the utmost respect, are icons in your community. You're
Mhm.
doing it in your community.
Mhm.
Don't forget that. Don't
Well,
forget that.
well,
thank
we
you.
we thank you that we have at least one. No, I'll be honest with you. When I look on the internet and the algorithm or whatever the hell it is, throws up a whole bunch of postings or videos of young men who were talking and young women were talking. Do you know they're saying pretty much almost the same thing I've been saying for a long time? I'm serious.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of
Yes,
them
you will
are
see that.
saying that. I did not know that. In fact, I will have some playback and Sharon listens.
Hmm.
I'll say Sharon. Didn't I say that years ago? I
Yeah,
said that
yeah. And
same thing.
sometimes that I would say sounds like they've been listening to you because
Maybe.
I mean it's so um so it's not word for word, but the essence of it is so strong in there. It's like, okay, do you know these people? Did you tell
Hmm.
them?
I think the spirit of levity that has to do with people wanting to live free from the inside, which is like a big thing's going on. I think it's also moving strongly in our young people who don't want to feel burdened down because they got enough in the world that's burdening them down, and they especially don't want to carry that long, strong burden because it can be in a relationship. And so anything that comes in the essence of, hey, we can be more free, we can be more balanced, i.e., we can be more like friends. I think I see that as being the new way moving forward. And we're just happy and blessed that, some of that has been something that's been gifted as part of my observation from way long way back. And then I get to participate in actually blessing everybody with that flow. So that can also be part of life. Now we know it's still a battle. Excuse me. We know it's still a work in progress. Yes, a work in progress. We know that. We know because no such thing, especially spirituality, is not being in balance. Spirituality is knowing that the choices are out there that you can have, and you can work in, or you can create in, and those choices are what we're trying to present and put out there when it comes to in your relationship. And that choice that we have taken, and we're still working on it, is that we can be friends, we can use that balance and all the elements that come down to it. And that mutual agreement is something two human beings actually can do. I won't get into poly right now, but two human beings can actually do, and it can become so.
And the thing that I like about that and what you just said about
Mm-hmm.
how young people are moving into this understanding, I think the
Mm-hmm.
important thing and the good thing about that is
Mm-hmm.
no longer do they feel that they have to go by what our parents and our parents said. Well, you're at that age where you're going to get married, so go ahead and get married and just stick in there and make it work. It's more to it than just stick in there and make it work. It's not brain surgery, although sometimes it feels like it is.
Yeah, I'll be working on you,
And
boy.
yes,
Your last name.
yes, and but there are techniques and they're learning that there are things that you can do that you have to work at it and not just deal with it as
Yes.
we've been taught.
When we're going to a commercial, hopefully paying for some of this, whatever. Then we're going to come back on the other side insurance going to give you a prolific thing that we believe, and I believe too, her spirit gave you over a situation that was really crazy and perplexing in the first place, and want to get your input of what you think when we get back. So we're going right to a commercial, and we'll be back to talk. Okay, hold on. Look at that smile. Woo! Okay, we are back again. I'm sorry. I put in some things that should not have been inserted. But
That's what happens when you have burned the candle at both ends for far too long, like a couple of weeks straight. You get tired and you keep pushing, and you don't function as clearly as you normally would.
I appreciate it, but we got to get Julius to do the right thing and get us a engineer to do the show and start having me do both things at once. I'm not going to go too far. I'm just saying these. If Julius, you're hearing me, you know what I'm talking about. Do your boy right and your sister right. Come on now. So Sharon's going to tell this story that has to do with after a big unhallelujah time. We weren't holding hands like this with that. Our hands were doing other things that were not too nice. Basically, we had a fight. Just put it like that. A disagreement, strongly. And after the disagreement, and I would say to you that if anybody in a relationship tells you that they've never had an argument and never had a fight, or they never, ever mixed words with one another, I would tell them, first of all, keep that to yourself. The next one I tell them, you're lying, but that's all right. But what is ironic is after this one, and we've had, more than one, something real unique came up after that. People licking their wounds, as people say, kind of going in their own, what do you call it? Sides. When people separate and go on their own sides, not saying much to each other. The
cooling down period. Because when
I just thought I didn't want to talk to you.
When you have a strong argument, there comes a point where it's time to separate. It's time to regroup. It's time to find out where you are physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and pull it all back together again.
This is the first time I heard that in those steps in detail.
Well,
Damn, you're good.
no, but that's what you go through. Just because you don't talk about it doesn't mean you don't go through it.
You sure
You know.
kept that one hidden. And I'm gonna let her go ahead and just do the rest of the program shit. And I'll just be like, Martin, look. How's that? I'll just go like this.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, I'm just joking.
So, you know, you get to the point where pressures get you down. We've got a lot of things going
Yeah.
on right now
We got so many things right
That-
now. Mm.
are just it's like it builds up and it's like a powder keg.
It's all good things now.
Yes. Yeah,
It's all good
they're really
things.
good, but they're pressure filled.
They are. Yeah.
And if you don't have a release for that is structured, you're going to have a release for that is not structured. And that's where arguments, disagreements, and things of that sort happen. And so we had this really big blow up.
You said that.
I know, I'm going there.
Okay, you know
Yeah.
what?
And so from that big blow up, everything was calmed down and everything was good. And the next day, a lot of fabulous, wonderful things came into place.
Okay, now stop there. What she means is the very next day, some things that we needed to have done that took communications from us to be able to activate and make it happen, mainly me. I don't feel like saying nothing to anybody, to be honest with you. To me, everybody else could just jump off the bridge, how I felt about things. But, but 2 or 3 different transactions came to pass, didn't have nothing to do with it. They were like what I would call, there's 2 kind of miracles. There's the miracles that those who are very spiritual know that they can put out
You
the
pray for
intentions. And now, no, you put out the intentions and then turn the law of attractions. Have you been back? We know about that stuff too. But then there's that one that's still the old Bible holiness time, which you got nothing to do with it. It just shows up. And so that's what happened for us. She had some, and I had most the next day. And I was like, what this is, and what gets me, it's like a almost pattern like that you could probably set your watch to. You could set your watch to from that end. But there was something before she speaks. Have you? No, I know you do. I know you know what I'm talking about. Am I right?
See, there's a pattern to everything. Energy has a pattern. You said that we had nothing to do with you. I'm paraphrasing.
Mhm.
You did have something to do with that.
Okay. Would you like to retort? No, I mean.
Can we get some elaboration here? Yeah.
Okay. So when things happen, when they come about, like, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting it, but you had already put that energy out. You could have put that energy out December 23rd, 1987.
That's true. But now if you're going into that area, there's no doubt about it. I wasn't trying to make this a Disneyland your star overnight thing, which ain't true. No. And thank you for giving, like they call, the backstory. There definitely was. But we're talking about, in this particular case, this situation would not usually have come to pass unless there's some things that I assertively did, put my energy out, because I know how I do things in that matter, in manifestation. And it would have usually manifested itself and then came to pass. This one, my mind wasn't on it. My energy wasn't on it whatsoever. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to do it. Period. I didn't feel like doing it at all. Period. And it just like fell in. 2 of them fell in line. And it had been a pattern like that. It's almost like I told Sharon that day, then Sharon, you to speak what you speak. It's almost that thing you hear about. Everybody has that make-up sex after they fight. You have to think to yourself, what are you making up?
Right. Right.
Well, it's not a continue on kind of thing, because you didn't really want to continue on to fight, because you ain't gonna be able to make love anyway unless you do a lot of fighting in bed. But so we call it make it up. So it's kind of like that thing that was there that happened now and ain't happening now, or I'm using this as a way to be able to say I'm sorry, one of the two. So but this wasn't it. But this was not it. Obviously, I'm being open and candid. We didn't feel like doing no making love thing, so it wasn't that. It had to do with a pattern I just spoke of that has happened more than once. From that particular thing, there's a churchy kind of spiritual thing that I could probably speak on that talks about that, in a little bit of it, but I don't feel like doing it. I want her to give you what she came to her conclusion, or what she figured her spirit gave to her after that, because I couldn't see a reason at that time or a purpose out of it, and even using Sankofa didn't do me much good.
What came to me was the fact that with all the pressures and all the stressors and all the things that we had been going through and dealing with a lot of different people, we had a lot of negative energy around us that we were absorbing, that we were taking in. And all that negative energy causes blockages. It takes up so much space that we don't have room for positivity. And so what happened is the big blow up that we had expelled a lot of that negative energy, because what we ended up doing is starting to put things back into perspective after that was over. And we had room for those positive things, for those blessings, as you can call them, to come in and take the place of that negative energy. So it made room for the positive.
And when this was presented, I knew right away in my own gut, my own spirit, even though it didn't make any sense logically, that it had everything to do with you two think you that important, when actually the purpose in the legacy of who you are and what you are spiritually is about us, not about just a user. So that thing we were arguing about was just like usual, the ego. It was the ego going on, and the ego had to be moved. So the us things went on. Yes, the things that I talked about in Miracle, I'm talking about, I didn't say that Cadillac came to me also I've been wanting. No, I was talking about things that we do that have to do with us came to pass. They just dropped in.
Our together dream.
Exactly. So that was a lesson. And I think that's the thing that, as Sharon brought up, we see out of this picture with Martin and his wife, that they are looking at the same thing because they see the power of us, what us can do. It's not just about them. It's about the power of us, or the power relationship. And taking the journey together is all about trying to present to us that with the power of us, that power of a relationship, that even when you think what you're doing is not good enough, she may think you're not doing yourself doing enough, or vice versa. If you concentrate on the us, or if you're involved with, especially as a community activist, and you're out doing us thing, what happens is sometimes you get so caught in your ego on yourself, you forget about the big picture. You forget about your purpose. You forget about where your ancestors have you here to do. It ain't just about you.
Right.
It's about us. And that's what Taking the Journey is all about, trying to move us forward. And I'd like to see, and we're going to see more of our young people move that direction, knowing that it's about us, not just about I. What you think?
Well, see, I when she said the absorption of negativity, do you not think that with that absorption, the negativity was reconstituted as positive?
I think it was replaced with positive. I think we had that negative was moved out to make room for the positive.
That's the balance though, right? When you have that negativity and I personally, I embrace it. I embrace all unfamiliar negativity, and I repurpose it. And a lot of times we subconsciously or unconsciously repurpose that negativity.
That would.
You could ask the questions like, what does she mean by repurpose? But we only got a couple of minutes left. So we can't have to go into a long speech because you would. I never let people who are graced with more than me ever get away with just a little bit. Not with me. They don't work that way.
Guess that means you have to be back next week.
Exactly. If you've been blessed and graced to know, then you are a library to give information out, and that's who we are. That's who we are. So we will break there because we're almost into the show. Hopefully we're seeing you back. I know this could be a sign for you to come back. We miss you. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Yes.
You all will miss too.
Hey, whatever you have to do to keep from getting those things and accidents happen, no, sometimes they're keeping you from being on the show. We believe that. I got to get with Dr. Frazier. We don't know where he is. and people like us who are blessed to really give information, many times life does that kind of thing because it knows what we're giving out to people to be blessed with at the same time. What's that?
You want to just
please. You can say it.
Right. So when we sign off, don't go anywhere.
You still got another 2 minutes.
I know. I just wanted to get that in ahead of time.
You want to tell her? You want to
Please.
You want to tell her quickly because I went to where they can hear us later on.
Yes. On Saturday mornings from 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch us on www.wruu.org and listen to our show where we'll be talking about probably something similar or something very close. And you can also find us at takingthejourney-together.com. You can email us at ttjt@takingthejourney-together.com. Facebook is TTJ Together, and Instagram is the one I like, Taking the J Together.
Exactly. Real quickly, Latita, tell people where they can find you, see you, or find where your dentist. Oh no, excuse me.
Okay. Hey, you can find me on Facebook. You just type in LA_TETA Latita. I will pop up. Jackson. You can find me on the Talkity Tick or TikTok as Shadow Keeper L. So you can find me there, and you can message me on Facebook. Just please don't call me. I appreciate it. Just please don't call me. Just message me, please.
Text her. Make sure you text her. No, I'm just joking. Hey, we got to go, everybody. Had a good time. Got to do this again. Got to finish what you said, too. I'm holding you to it. Everybody, God bless. I'll say happy, what? Martin Luther King Day. Don't forget about Coretta and the woman that you're with, too, both. You got to have both to make that us. All right? God bless.
Absolutely.
I like that.